We are going to talk about swaps and the move of stocks toward tokenization. I found some really interesting new gems not long ago. There are some really cool new connections on the movie that I really don't understand, but I'm going to cry in the middle of it. We will talk about the ISDA, Robinhood, and the inventory exchanges move to the digital asset tokenization market, so stay tuned. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and a lot of other interesting links will make you like this. Let's begin now. A license to send money has been given by Ripple Labs to money transmitters in Texas and New York. In this case, Blockchain Bills Corporation. According to Ripple, it got permission to send money in both Texas and New York. If you don't know about the cash switch license, you will need almost any value in New York. You could also start managing derivatives if you are interested. In New York City, you need a license to be a money switch. This means that the International Swaps and Derivatives Association, or ISDA, is based in New York City, an incredibly important part of this. Another thing I wanted to know more about was how the New York Stock Exchange was moving toward tokenization. It does say that the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, is working hard to make tokenization happen. Tiro was bought by ICE, which stands for Intercontinental Exchange, from the New York Stock Exchange in 2024. Space to buy and sell tokenized stocks. This shows that the New York Stock Exchange is becoming more interested in tokenization and virtual assets. The New York Stock Exchange also said they want to sell spot value Bitcoin options as long as regulators give them permission. They are also working on other projects with Goldman Sachs and some other big names. It was big news when it happened again in August 2023, if you were there. There is a lot of energy, which is what caused FOMO. Just so you know, Ripple was a member of the ISDA, but there are a lot of other great cryptocurrency companies that might also be partnered with the ISDA, like HBAR, Algorand, and possibly a few more. That's all I need to say about it. It's not just Ripple anymore. I think it got interesting when you looked at Ripple Labs on the ISDA website. Calls is what it says. The figure Rahul Advani is the one who is brought up. That's why I chose to learn more about him. You can see that Chinistag Steengraber also added this. He was letting you know that Ripple is a part of the ISDA. Since Ripple and XRP joined the ISDA, they now have direct access to a swaps market worth $1.2 quadrillion. This puts them on the same level as the big banks. And you know that just by looking at this, you have more proof that Ripple had something to do with them. These new people have joined ISDA, he said. And who is Rahul Advani, who was on the ISDA for 12 years before Ripple? After 12 years at the ISDA, this man went to Ripple. Before joining Ripple, Rahul worked in financial services for 12 years. He is now the top public coverage for APAC on the ISDA. It is clear that the people that Ripple rents out, is that right? People who work for the U.S. Treasury, the DTCC, and some high-security groups like the CFTC and the SEC. In addition, you have ISDA staff. In fact, it's very interesting. I also found this video, which goes into a few more documents that are connected to all of this. Even though it's a longer movie about formings, I guess it has a lot of really cool footage in it. If you haven't seen this video yet, please don't move. There are lots of great details. Then let me read you. Thanks for joining ISDA, the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. More than 1,000 companies have joined, such as BlackRock, Societe Generale, JP Morgan, and BNY Mellon. How big is it? What does it look like? Take a look. The derivatives marketplace is worth more than $1 quadrillion. Look at this first test to find out how ISDA and Ripple are connected. Thank you, Cyprus Demonic Core. Take a look at this for a moment. We are going to go to Rahul Advani, add some facts that will change the world. It was yesterday. In case you didn't know, this man is the policy director at Ripple. It's on his LinkedIn page for you to see. But look at what he said yesterday. Once more, good job to the CypherX study team. It's always okay when the past and the present meet. I'm glad to hear that Ripple has joined the ISDA. He worked there for 5 years while he was a reporter. That could be really cool, right? What does all of this mean as we look for it, like how Ripple, XRP's potential, the ledger and Dexter's art can work together to settle and clean up all of those derivatives? Take a look, Brad said. This is a real question. One of your goods is using the payments device to send money around. So the question is, should Ripple go through a run? To put it another way, everyone wants your cash. Because of this, no one wants to give the item because they have doubts about it, for good or bad reasons. There may already be 2 global stores. I think there are currencies that exist at the same time. Yes, I do. And I think that would happen. I think it's pretty likely that many arenas are only finished using the US dollar as their reserve foreign exchange currency. This is because every country wants their currency to be the arena's reserve currency. That was good for the US. It has grown a lot. Every other US says, yeah, we'd love to have the arena to be the world's reserve forex. But for decades, the US economy has been unfairly taking advantage of leaps and bounds. The United States is the only country that could do that, though. Putin, the EU, or more than one of them. Most other countries, though, know that if there is to be a new worldwide reserve currency, it will be a country's currency. They're not going to be the ones. Because of this, it makes sense that they might pick a currency that is controlled by their biggest geopolitical enemies over one that is not. That, then, is what I think is most likely to happen with digital goods. The US dollar will no longer be our foreign exchange rate if other countries say, okay, well, the US dollar can't hold on all the time. This is because no one will need to repeat US dollars. The EU is the only group that wants to get rid of the currency, right? In Russia, though, no one wants the ruble to take the place of the US dollar. In China, though, no one wants the yuan to replace the dollar. So instead of running a forex with the help of their most dangerous global rivals, they can pick one that no one else should run. As an honest matter of fact, I only wanted to quickly touch on this since David Schwartz just now brought up Russia and China. The economy of Russia has fully fallen apart and is now in free fall. All over Russia, businesses are closing down. They can't find the money to pay back their bills. The interest rate is 21%, and the base hobby fee in Russia is the same amount. This means that if you bought a house or had to borrow money for something in your business, it would be about 25 to 30% hobby.